Beards and Bangers, and today you join me having just spent a very relaxing night in Prestane, just over the Welsh border. I'm now driving to a town called Leominster, and we're going to have a look at the ZT190, what's going on with it, because today we are going to force tuning. Welcome to Beards and Bangers. Right, he's round here somewhere.
In 1,000 feet, your destination will be on the left.
That looks like it there.
Your destination is on the left.
Oh no, I can't get in there. We'll have to do a U-E. Men cutting grass around this morning. It smells very, very nice. And I shouldn't say just men, because it could be women's as well. Lovely part of the world, this. Now this is a sight to gladden the eyes of a weary beard. A Rover 75 Tourer just poking its little bottom. Yeah, so Tom is a specialist in MGs and Rovers, particularly on the kind of remapping. I know he's really good on the diesel, so he's got a really good business. Does a lot of work through Facebook. Sorry, gets a lot of work through Facebook. He's just getting ready to do my car. He's got another quick job to do on a 75. We've got down. It's 8 o'clock Tuesday morning. And he said it's okay to do some filming, so we're going to have a little wander around his yard, because this is an absolute delightful yard for a beard and banger. Really nice ZTT in this colour. Yeah, so yeah, diesel, chipping the diesel, especially the 135s up to about 160, I know is the speciality. Lovely, look at that I think that's primrose yellow. And a custard missile, a ZT190 in trophy yellow, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, this is a 190 with some really nice X-Power grey Apex wheels. Why wouldn't I like that? Yeah, that looks really good. It's got a post facelift 75, possibly a Connie. Don't know if it's Connie SE. Doesn't seem to have all the bells and whistles. Yeah, loads of stuff in here. I love this colour, Le Mans green ZTT. Absolutely fantastic. The train line. Yeah, it's got some nice stuff in here. Another ZT, little X-Power grey TF160, and a Nightfire red ZTT. Nice disco there. Mark 1. Do like those. I'm starting to think about getting a Mark 1 disco. But yeah, Tom's it's in Leominster, so it's just sort of Hereford, between Hereford and the Welsh border. Really nice, quiet part of the world. Those Apexes look really good. They're very similar to the ones I've had done for the 260 actually. Right, we've had a little wander around the yard. We'll give Tom half an hour to do some work on this 75, and then we're going to get the 190 in and start work on that, and we'll hopefully show you quite a bit of it. Right, it's just up on the two poster now. Tom's going to get the wheels off. We're actually going to do the belts first. There's no point whacking the power up if the belts aren't good, and we just don't know what this engine's been doing. So he's going to do the belts while we're here, and then we'll do the dyno stuff a little bit later on. But Tom was very impressed with your work, Austin, if you are watching this back. There we are, compliment for you, absolutely, he says. So this oil is pretty clear, which is good. So this car's obviously had a decent blast a couple of times. So that Forte flush for November has done the job. So is that the oil cooler? Yeah, so oil cooler is going to come off. Yes, it's quite involved getting the timing cover off. You've got to get the aircon pump and the oil filter off. Tom reckons this has never been taken off because the bolts just won't come out. Yeah, but it's just interesting talking to Tom. We'll talk to Tom some more in a minute because his kind of route into being an MG Rover specialist is quite interesting. We'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, it's quite involved doing all this. It's not just a question of whacking the cover off and changing the belt. It's obviously 3 belts. We've got belt for each bank plus a little connecting belt in the middle.
2 little belts at the back and 1 big belt at the front.
Right, 2 little, 1 big. I got it wrong. What do I know?
You'll see in about an hour.
Yeah, we'll see in about an hour. So it's quite involved. This isn't a 1-minute wonder, which is good. Yeah, so oil's been drained out, filter's been changed. Genuine MG Rover filter going back on, of course. And now we've got to empty the coolant. I shan't get in the way. I'll just fuck it up. I got covered anyway. So it's good. We're going to get fresh coolant and fresh oil as well. My left shoe is now drunk on antifreeze. My left, like a Norwegian in winter. There we are.
How they like to come out.
It's probably quite pressurised as well. Right, we'll let Tom get this cleaned up, and then we'll see the next step in a moment. Although while we're doing that, we have a look at this side box exhaust, and Mr. Force has something rather nice up in his attic, so we may be putting that on a little bit later as well, which will save me some time and money, because it's something I was going to do later in the year. But while we're here, we might as well get it done. Just going to blow the expansion tank out just to make sure there's no more water in the system, which there will be, because there's no way there's 5 odd litres of coolant there. Here we are. See it coming out. Jay doing sterling work there with the bucket. Someone's got to do it. Huzzly Bear having a wee. So engine cover off. Things will start getting dismantled. Tom's Dugger, he's got a Milwaukee Dugger. And it's really light and compact. It's a really good little tool. And we decided that this is going to go. So we're going to put the original air cleaner back on, try and get a K&N panel for it. So I'll probably get on the phone to Rimmer Brothers in a minute. Right, so it's getting serious now. Inlet manifold's about to come in. Induction kit will come off in a minute. Off he goes. Yeah. Glimpse of a KV6 engine without the intake manifold on. Well, plastic bit anyway. The slotting didn't take manifold there.
Yeah, lower manifolds.
Yeah, this isn't a beards and bangers do it on your driveway job. This is a so getting the battery out, inlet manifold out, lots and lots of bits coming out the car. So the engine's now on a jack because the mounts are coming off. And just felt the wing of the car just move slightly as the tension's released. But they're quite light, these engines, aren't they, for their
150 kilos?
150 kilos, yeah. So
You wouldn't pick one up.
no, you might. You're a strong bugger. Yes, we've got a split mount here, so that has to be replaced, which is good. Anything we can do to get this car back on the road, or keep this car on the road, is good, because it's get all these little things done. So this is we've finally got the wheel loose. It's taken one can of Monster Punch, getting the car back up in the air, and absolutely belting the fuck out of it with a hammer. And it's come off. Well done, Tom. He's a bit hot now. He's a little bit hot now. There we go. Right. Okay. If you could explain what you're doing now, we've got the.
Just remove the crank pulley.
Yeah.
Putting the bolt back in so that we can turn the engine over.
Yes.
Get the auxiliary belt out of the way.
Yeah.
Auxiliary belt tensioners out of the way, and remove these two bolts from the lower of the engine mount.
Okay.
And then we can bring it back down.
And that's you get the car at top dead centre and lock the.
Well, we need to get the timing cover off so we can see the belt first off.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm trying to do now, get all the covers off.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then we shall go from there.
Brill. Right. So the aux belt's now off, so we can start to get to the timing covers.
Tensioner off, aux belt idler off.
Yeah.
And then dipstick tube off. And then we can get the timing end cover off.
There we are. So. Few steps to go, so it's not a quick fix on these. So what we're saying, Tom, K series, you can do this in about an hour and a bit.
Hour and 20, yeah.
Yeah, whereas we're talking five hours to do the belts on this.
Yeah.
Plus we're going to do the engine mount, exhaust, and dyno. So fair bit of work to do for Tom today.
Keep you busy.
Oh yeah. At least the sun's not. Oh, it's shining now.
I don't need it, I think. Hot enough as it is.
Tom is working bloody hard here. So I thought this is a reconditioned engine, but given that every nut and bolt is really hard to get off, I think this is the original engine. So I'm just really interested. It's going to be really interesting to see what the belts are actually like, if they've ever been done.
Not long now, we'll be able to see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see them in the set. So. I think this was a wise call to get them done. Don't know. Going to get a new water pump in, of course, as well, which is a recommendation with any MG Rover car when you're changing the belts. Yeah. So again, Tom said these bolts are just absolutely tight as anything. So if this is the original engine and it's done its 112,000 miles without eating itself and the belt snapping, this is going to be quite a miracle. Say again?
T-Red 75 V6.
Yeah.
124,000 miles.
Yeah.
24 years old. Original belts. That loose, you can pull them off the water pump. They weren't actually running the water pump, so it was overheating, and he thought the head gasket failed. It was just because the belt was so loose.
Get your belts done, get your services done at the right intervals. Look after your cars, keep them on the road. That's what we're trying to do.
Marks in there,
Yeah.
and in there, because these are a nightmare to get on and off sometimes,
Yeah.
and you end up scratching the back of the time belt covers, because that is actually a sign that someone
Right.
might have been there before.
So it might have been in before, they might have just done it up too tight or...
We shall find out momentarily.
Yeah. Right, so now all that prep work is done, is the moment of truth. As the timing belt cover is about to come off, and we shall see what we've been driving around with these last 12 months. Luckily, not too many miles. It has been done.
Doesn't honestly look that bad.
So maybe the guy I bought it from was telling the truth. Maybe not a reconditioned engine, but certainly it's been done. At some point, we shall do it anyway for peace of mind. Get you right in there so you can see the belt. Right, so the timing cover's off. We can see the arrangement we've got here. Of course, being a V6, it's, you know, interesting shape. But yeah, the belt actually looks pretty good. So we know this car hasn't covered that many miles in the last 3 years. So that's good news. So we're still going to do it, obviously, for belt and braces. Then we're good for another few years. Yeah, that's what, for those of you who own a KV6 powered car, ZT75, Freelander, this is what it looks like once it's all stripped down and you've got the timing cover off. But the prep work to get to this point is quite considerable, as you can see. So what's come off, we've got battery tray, loads of engine mount fixings, the inlet manifold, engine cover obviously, my induction kit which is going to go back off. We're going to put the original back on with a high performance panel filter because that is the recommended way to get the best intake on these. And we've got some more covers there. So yeah, it's not a quick job. It's, you know, you've got to go to someone who knows what they're doing with it, which is why I go to the likes of AJF, Tom Force, to get these things done. And there we are, that's what it looks like. So the next job is to get the rear timing covers off. So we've got the one long belt on the back of the engine, and then we've got these two here which need to come off as well. So we'll get Tom to get those off, then we'll have a chat about timing. Right, so now I've got one of the back covers off. So if you can see these little marks here, these need to be, and there's the same on this wheel here. And Tom's just turned, let you speak then, mate.
So the one with the little recess in is the inner one.
Yeah.
That needs to be in a straight line with those.
Yes.
So if you watch those and tell me when they're somewhere near in a straight line.
Oh, my eyesight's bloody awful. Pretty much, yeah.
About there?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we...
So you see we've got the line there, we've got a line, got a little notch. You better check this because my eyesight is...
I'll just get a torch and then...
My eyesight in low light is shocking. Hopefully the GoPro is better than my eyes.
We'll get a torch, but now if you come here and see, just exactly what I was saying. You see you've got that V there, and you've got that V there on the casing of the oil pump. Which you would have thought those need to be in line.
Yes.
Some are, some aren't. Some are one tooth that way, some are one tooth this way. Every single engine I've had is slightly different.
Isn't that interesting?
So you can't go on that, but those being in line either side, that's where it needs to be. So I'll put the timing tool in at the back. I'll get the cover off. Yeah. And that's when we know that it's where it needs to be.
There we are. There's a learn for us. So I'll let him do that. I don't know how well you can hear because young Jay is grinding some weld, but yeah, everything's lined up nicely. Locking tool's been in, so we know it's at top dead centre. And if you can't hear this, then don't worry, you can see it. Yeah, so these rear pulleys, we're at top dead centre here, and this one's in line, but this one isn't. So if you get that one in line, we're no longer in top dead centre. So Tom's going to do some magic and get it all timed up nicely. And hopefully, when we fire the car up again in a few hours' time,
should be running beautifully.
Running beautifully, smoothly and silky, as a V6 should. Until I put my foot down. So the timing on this bank here, so this is perfect on this bank. This bank here, nearest the bulkhead, is ever so slightly out.
That's half a tooth.
Half a tooth. So it's not hideous. It's not going to notice that much. Get a bit of a pop on the exhaust on the overrun.
Yeah, but now we've adjusted that and it's bang.
It's going to be.
So now we can pull the belt off and change the water pump, etc., and probably have some roads.
Yes. Splendid idea. So yeah, we'll get in there. And there's just, I've never used all the engine mount that's cracked, so that's going to get changed as well. So yeah, this is a good trip for this car, definitely. Yeah, so this is the old belt. It's actually in really good order. So didn't need doing, but unless you take it out and have a look, you don't know. And there's no history with this car whatsoever, so we have to do it. So it's money well spent, because it just gives me peace of mind now for a few tens of thousands of miles or several years. So there we are. So on these, the water pump just sits in between the two banks. So when you change the timing belts on these, or any K series engine as well, you put a new one in. So it's yeah, advisable to do the water pump at the same time.
Because it's sod's law, if you don't, it'll leak a week later.
Aye.
Because we've got the timing tools in, we've got the cams locked, we've got this movement on each of these pulleys, so we can take out the tension and get the belt fitted up nice and easily.
Got you, yeah.
Look at that one there.
That's the new belt going in there. So it's got to be bob on, otherwise the engine will eat itself, basically. You see the new pulley for the water pump as well there. Behind Tom's head now. There it is. There we are.
Pretty much as easy as that.
As easy as that. The preparation's the biggest bit of this, isn't it?
100%. It's getting the tools in and getting it all marked up.
Yeah.
Just tighten up the tension pulley and then I'll tighten the rest of it up.
Brill.
And then we'll pull the pin out and turn it down.
Fantastic.
Well, once we've done the rear belts.
Yeah. So there we are. One new main belt in, all nipped up. And we've checked the back belts and it's all timed in nicely. So that's good news. So lunch has been lunched. The rear timing covers are back on. Tom's just turned the engine over 360 degrees. And everything seems to be in order, which is good news. So it's now a question of
getting it back together.
Putting it back together, which won't take as long as taking it apart. So we won't show you all of that. What we'll do is we'll show you next the car being fired up in a minute to you, but in about an hour or so for us.
I wish it was like that.
It's all going back together very nicely. And I'm sure this won't be when I used to take transistor radios apart as a kid, and you end up with more screws left when you put it back together.
Nah, they'll all go back in. Although that would be weight saving, like Lamborghini do.
Yeah. Right, the final preparations before we restart the car. You'll notice the standard air filter's back in, so not going to scrap the pipe across because that can be reused on something else at some point. But we're going to put a Max Power, I think it's called. Ram Air, that's the one. Well done. Ram Air panel filter in there, because that's the best. That apparently is the best setup. So we're going to dyno it in a sec, as is. But obviously adding a better air filter is not going to harm things. So give us a sec and we'll get it fired up. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Sounds sweet.
Lovely.
So that started out really nicely. Just a bit of loose oil and stuff just burning off, but that's fine. Happy days. So we'll see how that drives later. I'm going to wrap this video up for now because the next video is going to be actually getting this car on the dyno. So massive thanks to Tom. We'll talk to Tom a bit more in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Beards and Bangers. I'll spin you around so I'm in the sun. There we are. Yeah, massive thanks to Tom and Jay for what they've done. We'll catch up on the next episode. So if you don't already do so, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget to share. If you've got a KV6 powered car, then this is, you know, a good video for you to see what happens when you change the cam belts. But in the next episode, now we've got the engine timing right, we shall get it on the dyno and see if we can get any more power out of it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.